Hey guys, it's Ariane with Makeup With Me. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I can't believe what I'm about to tell you. I have a new favorite foundation. I've been wearing the same two foundations for 8 years with enthusiasm. I've told everyone that'll listen what works for me, what doesn't. When I hear of a new foundation, I immediately stack it against my favorite foundation, which is by Estee Lauder. And so for me to find one that I like, and not only like enough to kind of like on my own face, but to tell you about and to demo for you and to talk about, it's shocking. It's literally shocking. Everyone that's been listening to me yap about my favorite products and anyone that I've helped for years and years is gonna go, what? Clinique? You heard it here. I'm obsessed with the new Clinique foundation. So I'm going to give you a little demo in a second. I'm wearing it right now, but I kind of wanted to talk through a few details about it. It is just really great. It's a long wear, which immediately is what I need. If a foundation's not long wear, I'm out. But it is called the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. It's not really called a duo, is it? No. It's just Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. They say that it's 2-in-1, which it can totally be used for 2-in-1. I'm using the color Cream Whip, number 4. A little bit about it. I love it because it's a long wear. So immediately it wins me over right out the gate. And a lot of times people say long wear, and let's be real, we do long wear. So, but this one is. And I like that it is very skin texture-y, if that makes it really feels like skin. When you put it on, it's a little bit thick. It feels thick and it feels wet, but you give it about a couple minutes to dry and the finish is so pretty, but it still looks like skin. A lot of times with my matte foundations, I feel like I'm a dry girl anyway, so I'm fighting the dry, but if I get too much of it on and it dries matte on dry skin, I'm like one laugh away from like my face cracking and falling off because I'm so dry. And so I don't want to look like a mummy. I don't want you to look like a mummy. So the cool thing is that this dries it doesn't dry matte, but it kind of like halfway matte, like half matte, half matte. But it dries in a way where it still looks and feels like skin, but once it dries, it doesn't come off when you touch your face. So again, it helps with the long wear thing. It all kind of works together. I like it also because the wand is really interesting. It's enormous, huge wand. They call that a doe foot in cosmetic world, a doe foot applicator, except for Clinique doesn't. It's called the magic wand. So it is huge. What's cool is that they say that you need like one swipe. Homegirl loves her foundation, so I'm gonna go ahead and do like swipe. Like I'll do it anywhere I want it, but I still feel like I don't use a ton. A little goes a long way. And then you'll see today when I apply it, I like to use it for spot treatment. I'll do my foundation all over, blend it with a brush, and then if I need extra spot treatment on little areas, I'll go back and use this. I still like to use a concealer that's a little bit brighter on my under eye just because it's what I like. And I always like it, so sorry about that. But you really could use another Clinique foundation if you wanted. Anyway, so I'm obsessed with it. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's shocking. It's literally shocking to me. I've kind of had a stereotype about Clinique forever. It's kind of cheap, and not in a cheap materials way, but cheap like it's very inexpensive, therefore it must not work. I'm not nuts about the makeup. I don't use a lot of Clinique makeup. I do use Clinique skincare. I've started using it this year and I love it. But that's for another time and place. So back to it. We're going to do a little demo. Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. I use it as my foundation. I'm obsessed with it. The only complaint about it that I have is that their color wheel is not enormous. I feel like I kind of have one of the lighter shades, but I'm not the lightest skin tone. I feel like they really could expand it a little bit to get for like our fair, like Cullen family, Seattle girls. Where you want it really, really fair. I feel like you might have a hard time getting color matched, but I have a feeling it's only a matter of time before it gets expanded. I think they've got like 22 shades, so it goes very dark, but doesn't go super, super light yet. So give them some time, but get to a Clinique counter, try it. It's 27 bucks. Hello. The one I've been using forever is 40 bucks a bottle. Yeah, anything else? And I'm obsessed with it. So we're going to try it out. We're going to give it a go. Let's do it. Okay, so to use the Clinique Perfecting excuse me, Beyond Perfecting foundation concealer. I wanted to implement it in the way that I would if I was doing my makeup today, which I'm gonna be doing my makeup today. So I did my eyes, finished my eyes with the exception of my eyebrows. No, that's not the same feature. Let me just go ahead and pin this back now. It's gonna be a problem. Ugh. I always do my brows after I have everything on just because I don't want my foundation brush or powder brush to brush one of them around and then make me look like super surprised all day. So I do my brows the very last. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation Concealer. I'll be honest with you, I love it so much. I'm shocked by how much I love it. But I do put a normal concealer with it too. I know it can do both, but for whatever reason, I just feels good. So the wand is enormous, like so big, full of product. At a Clinique counter, they'll tell you that you don't have to use very much of it. Sue me, I love foundation. I'll always use a lot, don't care. You can't convince me otherwise. So I just use it and I flip the wand over, do some on this side, and I just draw it on like a crazy person. This is so unchic and so not pretty. I forgot to tell you I'm using the color Cream Whip. So I just draw all over my face, put my hair back, I'm using my Sonia Kashuk blending brush. It's a foundation brush, it's number 130. And I'm gonna buff it right into my skin. Oh, I got it in my hair, pretty. Okay, so if you get to a point where you blend it and think, I have a couple spots that I need more coverage, I think that's where I like the duo of foundation and concealer. I don't know what's with my cheekbones, but for the last little while, my cheekbones and my chin have had so much breakout. So that's where I have the most discoloration. So so now that I have a nice base coat blended, I'll just do a little bit more on top of my problem areas. And I just pat it. I know I look so light and so crazy. There, I used very little. I'm gonna blend it. I used very little. Honestly, I probably did like, what, 3 dips into the jar. And I used just the wand, all sides of the wand to kind of disperse the product. So it feels very moisturizing. It feels, to be honest, it feels a little bit thick, but I know from wearing it for the last month, 2 months on and off, that it just is when it needs to dry. Ultimately, it needs to dry a little bit. So if you wiped your face at this point, a lot of it would come off. Once it kind of settles and dries a little bit, it really just looks like your skin. It doesn't feel cakey. It doesn't feel thick. It doesn't feel like any of those things. So I'm into it. I love it. Now I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward through the rest of my routine so you can kind of see quickly how I would finish this look off. Like I said, I love it for foundation and I like it for concealer. I just like a little bit of a lighter color under my eye than my foundation color. So I'm going to use a different concealer on my under eye, but you absolutely could use this 2 birds, 1 stone. Side note, because I want my foundation to still look like skin, I'm only going to put powder through the areas that would get a little bit shiny, which is my T-zone. I do a little bit on my forehead, down my nose, and a little on my chin. But I want to stay off my cheeks because that's where I want my skin to look kind of luminous and skinny all day, skin texture. Now that I have everything, for the most part, where I want it, other than my brows, I'm going to set my face with my favorite setting powder by Laura Mercier. My under eye looks really bright and light at this point, so I'm just going to soften it a little bit by blending that out a little bit, my concealer. I like it looking bright, but I don't want to look crazy. Okay, one thing I forgot to say about this, and I think one of the reasons I also love it so much, little add-on, is that Clinique tests product. If they want to put out something new, they will test it on 1,200 people, and if one of 1,200 people have a negative response to it, breakout, or rash, redness, whatever, they send it back to the front of the line, redo it, and then put it back out. So anyone that's prone to acne or really sensitive skin where anything makes you have rashes or redness or dry skin or patches, this is awesome because it's allergy tested. Okay guys, that about covers it with our review of the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. I don't think I've said it enough. I'm like very surprised by it. I love it. I totally recommend it. If you've got any kind of skin issue whatsoever, this is an easy way to at least figure out if your foundation's making it worse or better. It is allergy tested, full coverage all day, all the things I've said 100,000 times already. I love the finish. I wish you were here to like put your hand through the phone and like touch my skin and it doesn't look, it's not wet and it's not coming off. Blah, 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 blah. It kind of looks like this hand is someone else's, doesn't it? Do I have man hands? Sorry. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We will be reviewing some more great products for spring. Oh, really good, really good foundation for spring. We'll be reviewing some more products for spring to kind of talk about lightening up your makeup bag, pinkifying your makeup bag, brightening your eyes, making everything look more rested and more springy and more pastel-y. And yeah, so thanks so much for watching. Hit me with your comments below, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.